Picture a river, still, dark, warm enough that the air above it shimmers. Something moves beneath the surface, not fast, not desperate, slow, the way only an animal with no natural predators moves. A ripple stretches 30, maybe 40 feet across the water before the shape disappears again. No splash, no sound. Just silence, and the faint, sickening knowledge that whatever just passed through that river is longer than a school bus. This is not fantasy. This is Earth's history. And for the last 15 years, scientists believed they had already found the largest snake that ever lived. They were wrong. Today, we're going to walk through the world of the most massive serpents to ever exist, from a living giant still hunting in the Amazon right now to two prehistoric monsters separated by millions of years and thousands of miles, but connected by one terrifying question. How big can a snake actually get? The answer is worse than you think. Before we go back in time, we need to start with what's alive today. Because even in the modern world, a world of highways and satellites and cities, there is a snake large enough to crush a grown man to death. And it's not hiding, it's thriving. The green anaconda, Eunectes marinus, is the heaviest snake on Earth. Not the longest, the heaviest. And that distinction matters because the anaconda doesn't kill with venom. It doesn't need to. It kills with pressure. Found in the slow, murky waterways of the Amazon basin, the green anaconda is an ambush predator of terrifying patience. It lies submerged, sometimes for hours, with only its eyes and nostrils breaking the surface, motionless, invisible, waiting. When prey wanders close, a capybara drinking at the bank, a caiman drifting too near, the anaconda strikes, and once those coils lock on, the encounter is already over. Each time the prey exhales, the snake tightens. Not crushing bone, that's a myth. It's compressing the chest cavity, collapsing the circulatory system. The heart simply cannot beat against the force. Death comes from cardiac arrest, often within minutes. Most green anacondas stretch between 20 and 30 feet. Some weigh over 500 pounds. But the outliers, the ones that live long enough and eat well enough, push beyond that. In 2016, construction workers near a dam project in northern Brazil stumbled across an anaconda that measured over 33 feet. It took heavy machinery to move it. Photos circulated online, and most people assumed they were fake. They weren't. The green anaconda is the undisputed heavyweight of the modern snake world. Nothing alive today comes close to matching its combination of mass, power, and predatory precision. But here's the thing about the anaconda. The reason it matters to this story. It's not even close to the biggest snake that ever lived. Not even close. 60 million years ago, the world was a different planet. The asteroid that ended the dinosaurs had already struck. The great reptilian dynasties, the tyrannosaurs, the sauropods, the mosasaurs, were gone. And in the warm, wet silence that followed their extinction, something else rose to fill the void. In what is now northern Colombia, there existed a vast swampland, an endless maze of rivers, flooded forests, and shallow lakes baking under a sun far more intense than ours. Average global temperatures during the Paleocene epoch were significantly higher than today. The tropics were furnaces, and in that heat, reptiles did what reptiles do when conditions allow it. They grew. In 2009, a team of paleontologists working in the Cerrejón coal mine, one of the largest open-pit mines in the world, pulled a vertebra from the earth. Then another, then another. Each one was the size of a man's fist. When they reconstructed the spinal column and cross-referenced it with known species, the numbers didn't make sense at first. They ran them again and again. The snake those bones belonged to measured approximately 42 feet long. It weighed over a ton, roughly the mass of a small car. It was thicker around the midsection than an oil drum. They named it Titanoboa cerrejonensis. And for over a decade, it held an undisputed title, the largest snake in the fossil record. The largest snake ever. Titanoboa wasn't venomous. Like the anaconda, its distant, diminished descendant in lifestyle, it was a constrictor, but its prey wasn't capybaras or deer. Fossil evidence recovered from the same formation reveals that Titanoboa shared its swamp with ancient crocodilians and massive lungfish, some stretching over 6 feet long. It ate them. Picture that for a moment. A snake so large it hunted crocodiles, not as a rare, desperate act, as a routine. The science behind Titanoboa's size is almost as fascinating as the animal itself. Reptiles are ectothermic, cold-blooded. Their maximum body size is constrained by the ambient temperature of their environment. The hotter the world, the larger a reptile can theoretically grow. During the Paleocene, equatorial temperatures were high enough to support a cold-blooded predator of almost incomprehensible scale. Titanoboa wasn't a freak of nature. It was a product of nature, the logical outcome of a world several degrees warmer than ours. For 15 years, it sat alone at the top of the record books. Every documentary, every textbook, every list of the biggest animals ever featured Titanoboa in the snake category. The case was considered closed until someone opened a dig site in western India. In the arid, fossil-rich Badlands of Gujarat, a state in western India, paleontologists had been quietly excavating a site for years. The region, part of the ancient Kutch Basin, was once a coastal tropical environment teeming with life during the Eocene epoch, roughly 47 million years ago. In 2024, the team published their findings, and the scientific community went very, very quiet. They had recovered 27 vertebrae from a single individual, a snake of staggering proportions. Based on the size and morphology of those vertebrae, and using scaling models calibrated against known species, the researchers estimated the animal's total length at somewhere between 36 and 50 feet. 50 feet. If the upper estimate holds, this snake was longer than Titanoboa, longer than anything in the fossil record, longer than most people's homes. They named it Vasuki Indicus, after Vasuki, the serpent king of Hindu mythology, a cosmic snake said to coil around the neck of the god Shiva. The name was not chosen lightly. Like Titanoboa, Vasuki Indicus was a product of extreme heat. The Eocene epoch, while slightly cooler than the Paleocene, still maintained tropical conditions across much of South Asia, warm enough, clearly, to sustain another giant. The fossils suggest a heavily built, slow-moving constrictor, not a fast, agile hunter, but a massive ambush predator that dominated its environment through sheer, overwhelming size. Now, and this is important, the scientific community has urged caution. 27 vertebrae is a significant find, but it's not a complete skeleton. The size estimates carry a range, and the lower end of that range would place Vasuki Indicus slightly smaller than Titanoboa, not larger. Peer review is ongoing. More excavation may narrow the window. But here's what's undeniable: even at the conservative estimate, Vasuki Indicus is one of the largest snakes ever discovered. And at the upper estimate, it rewrites the record entirely. Either way, a throne that seemed permanent has started to crack. So, 3 serpents, 3 eras, 1 question. The green anaconda is the undisputed champion of the living world, up to 33 feet of raw coiling muscle, hunting in the rivers of South America right now, today, as you listen to this. Titanoboa held the prehistoric crown for 15 years, 42 feet of ancient constrictor, a predator so dominant it ate the crocodiles of its era. A snake so large it could only exist in a world hotter than ours. And Vasuki Indicus, the newest challenger, the Serpent King, may stretch to 50 feet if the fossil evidence bears out. A creature that thrived in Eocene India and may have been the single largest snake in the 4-billion-year history of life on this planet. Who wins? If we're being precise, and science demands precision, Titanoboa still holds the confirmed record. Its fossil evidence is more complete, its measurements more robust. But if future excavations confirm the upper estimates for Vasuki Indicus, the title changes hands, and it changes hands dramatically. The honest answer? We don't know yet. And that uncertainty is not a weakness in the story. It is the story. Here's what stays with me. We walk on ground that holds bones we haven't found yet. We dig in deserts that were once oceans. We pull vertebrae from coal mines and piece together animals that would make our worst nightmares feel small. And every time we think we've cataloged the extremes, every time we say, this is the biggest, this is the limit, the Earth reminds us that we've barely scratched the surface. Titanoboa waited 60 million years to be discovered. Vasuki Indicus waited 47 million. The green anaconda swims past research boats and disappears before anyone can measure it. These animals don't exist to frighten us. They exist to humble us, to remind us that the story of life on Earth is not a story we've finished reading. It's a story we've only just opened. And somewhere in a cliff face, a riverbed, A slab of ancient rock no one has turned over yet. The next chapter is already written. We just haven't found it. If this story gave you chills, subscribe and turn on notifications. We go deep on stories like this, the ones the planet buried and science brought back to light. Drop a comment. Which of these three giants unsettles you the most? I'll see you in the next one.